So, okay, back. So that was a little mumbly, not awful. Man. I wish, like, honestly, the one thing I want more than anything else, like, game-wise, is a reboot. Just the entire third-gen thing, except with all the features from the later games. Like, especially the rematches from FF now. Oh, man. Love that so friggin' much. It's weird because you get those emails that are threatening, threatening all these different things. And yeah, they never do anything. Like, especially the whole thing, they're like, oh, if you make it to the top, there's all these unwritten rules, and they're totally gonna come get you. And it feels like that was meant to be, like, maybe if you make it all the way to the top of the arena early on, maybe, you know, they show up in missions and attack you, and you know how they have the hard mode and, like, 4th gen? That. I want that with that feature. Like, you make it to the top of the arena and they're like, oh yeah, friggin' Kaiser showed up. You thought it was gonna be, we're just gonna come in here and fight Doral? No, it's Kaiser now. Good luck with your, friggin' AC 5 minutes on their game. I would love that. Is it just like a remade hard mode for this? This current hard mode, as I understand, adds like a little bit of AP, some slight competence to the AI, and apparently does something for the lockbox? The cow was telling me anyway. No, I think I've just always played on hard mode. I don't know if I've ever even tried normal. It could just be that all these like little program features are just kind of part of the hard mode thing, and then on normal everything performs a little better. Never really thought about it, to be totally honest, until the remake here. I don't think I even considered it. Just that option at the start, and at that point I had selected something. It didn't all play the same. And I just kept replaying the game over and over. Well, I must have played it on normal at some point as a kid. Because my brother always played everything on hard mode, and typically it scared the crap out of me looking at some of these things. But, yeah. Then again, I was this weirdly twitchy little kid. Like, the sheer amount of laughter he got out of randomly, like, I would leave while we were in the middle of doing something, and then he would always time it to where, like, I walk into the room and there's that opening zombie scene from Resi 1. And I don't know why well, actually, even to this day, that kind of just friggin' worries me. Like, the crappy CGI, it's not even what's going on, it's just the weirdness of just how bad the CGI looks. And the weird squishy sounds, it's just so friggin' weird. Trying to chop off your head. Fine. You know what? Keep your head. Whatever. I'm not gonna get all French over here. So I don't know. So yeah, I don't really know the differences between normal and hard at this point. I always play on hard. If you're gonna do a challenge run, you might as well. I think it might reduce the AP of the enemy ACs even more, but they already seem to show up at only like 60% at most. So I don't know how low they actually make it. Maybe I should check the wiki at some point. You know, if anybody actually did any of that information. And it seems like all the information went to the parts and nobody knows anything about anything else. Like when I was trying to look up, oh, I forgot the AP information on passive MT. So, yeah, I went and I had tested it, and it's not really a hard AP count because I don't know his defensive numbers or any of that. It was like 45 to 50,000. It seemed to vary a little bit, but it was, I mean, I'd say 48 is a safe bet. Probably even 50. Because I might have just missed some AI damage along the way. But, I don't know. I don't know what it changes. Alright, who's next? You're next. How exciting! You can miss your 3 shots you have, and... Truth be told, what I should be doing for these runs is, like, skipping a lot of these sub-arena parts and just, like, doing the hard ones. I don't know, it feels so satisfying to do all of them. Like, after you beat the game, this is just kind of like a victory lap. And then you get to the super hard ones, and then kind of where it ends. But with Exile, I'm still kind of tossing up whether I'm gonna go and fight him directly, or if I'm gonna try to choose him out, because I can run him out of ammo pretty easily. Thing is, he's basically like a homing missile with a friggin' laser on it, so the odds of getting just bladed really easily are very, very high. I think I actually showed that whole running out of ammo cheese in the last couple runs. You know, not in the last couple runs, but the 2 runs before that. Let's see. No, there was the kneeling run, there was the no boosting run, so... No, it was the one before that. For those 2, it was just sheer firepower for everything. I think I did that in the parry, and might have done that in the rocket. Oh yeah, I forgot to remap to my thumbstick again, dang it. It's gotten super annoying with this lately. I remapped it. And every time I remap it, and every single time it's like, no, I'm a friggin' slot 3 now somehow. Who knows how? I just am. There's no 2 other controllers around. I'm just slot 3 for no reason. So it just keeps picking different slots. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that a while ago it got kind of like permanently locked to my computer somehow. But I have no proof or technical expertise for that. Better. Keep hopping. The challenge. Yeah, so was talking about doing a Waveblade challenge. I'm actually really excited about doing that at some point now. It's also something I've never actually tried. Love getting stuff I've never tried. Oh yeah, you're getting painted, apparently. You're doing like a concept art thing. The pilot, as I understand. And so, something that I keep looking at now is the connection between the core and the legs for each of these ACs. Because I was actually wondering like why that never gets aimed at, and now that I think about it, that's actually a pretty reasonable amount of protection they've got going on. I mean, they can't lean over or anything, but I mean, that connector, other than possibly the starting core, although I'd assume that like little silver line he's got going on there, I mean, I assume that's pretty well reinforced to cover whatever's going on behind it. Because it seems like a grenade right underneath the core would be enough to disable the entire AC. But I think ever since looking at that, ever since discussing that, I've been looking at these over and over. And yeah, they're pretty decently reinforced. They just don't look that way from the back. Which I think you take extra damage from the back anyway, and if you're getting hit in the back, the boosters would be hit. Don't get hit in the back, folks. Yeah, more potential for reboot stuff. So, my favorite thing, like hands down, about Gen 5, the friggin' hardcore mode. Not because of what it actually is, because it's a pretty simple permadeath mode, which I love. Like the whole thing where you just do 10 times damage to everything and take 5 times as much yourself. That was the best 3D shmup thing I have ever friggin' witnessed, and it was just amazing. Just like put Gatling guns on and just play Waste. So, it's not so much the mode itself, amazing as it was, but the fact that they even considered it. So, I don't know. I'm still hopeful. I know the odds are like pretty much several decimals under 1%, but or decimal spaces rather, but like a 3rd gen remake that goes through the entire story. Probably just has a break around Nexus where there's just kind of like a peaceful period and all the parts get rebalanced and everything, and like, presumably the industry goes weird for a while and manufacturing goes to crap. Yeah, I really would have liked an explanation there. Because story-wise, it does make sense. Like, you've got everybody living underground, and the controller blows up, they go above ground. The actual AI has, still has all kinds of defense stuff set up all over the place, which they won't get to the last of until the end of LR. It's just got all these automated defenses that they took out the brain, but they didn't take out the angry flailing arms, more or less. So I like to see it. A part of it still kept building itself and all that. But now, like, between Silent Line and Nexus, like, Silent Line seems to be the point where their tech goes all crazy, and like, okay, look, no limits on everything. It's better now, we made everything better, it's all great. Friggin' energy lasts forever, lockboxes are huge. It kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, in-game, like, it's From, so of course there had to be some explanation there. Frankly, they always have a story for this stuff. Like, was everything just too good? Like, after that point, did everything just get all complacent, and there were suddenly a bunch of, like, policy violations, and stuff not being up to code at the factories because everything was too good and being mass-produced, and suddenly parts were causing you to overheat from moving and stuff like that. Like, personally, like, I've kind of gone to a theory now that there was some sort of mineral that, they only had when the controller was around or something to help cool everything down, and so kind of the production went to crap because they were missing some materials. Suddenly everything started overheating, that started being an issue, because it starts getting especially bad in Nexus. I know I'm overthinking this, by the way. I realize that it's just game balancing stuff, but like, they redo all the parts. Okay. And then manufacturing is all awful because they start remaking them again. They're suddenly getting conflicts erupting again, so they basically have a bunch of like old rusty crap parts that, maybe they don't work anymore. So, standards fell. And yeah, so they were just saving on manufacturing costs. So the initial ones are gonna suck. Like, everybody's overheating all the time. There's all kinds of problems, and, well, then, Ninebreakers come along, and they're kind of figuring out some of the little kinks in the designs over there. By the time LR is going on, they've, fixed a lot of the manufacturing processes, so there isn't as much overheating. I mean, by FF, everything is just kind of complacent, I'd assume. Like, all the friggin' apocalypse is gone, and everyone's just kind of hanging out and having people problems. I think that's what was so amazing about it. They finally managed to go full circle from dystopian apocalypse, just a downright end of Terminator series, to, everybody's fine and hanging out and watching robot sports. They took it full circle there. That's why I love it. Just wish I would have actually given it a chance 2 years ago when I first tried it. Alright. And now this is showing off what was talking about earlier with his AI. So he fires a couple of his pods to start off with, and then just waits for an opportunity to use the other ones. Sometimes he'll fire a third, he usually doesn't. But generally speaking, he ends up saving at least one or two for the end of the fight as just kind of a finisher, just like a lot of the others do with their missiles. So, oh yeah. The AI there, though, never gets a chance to use the other two, so you know he's probably got the highest damage potential of everybody you can use for the massive MT. Well, he's not going to use it right. This is what he's designed for. Stay out of his range. Oh. This happens. Weirdly enough, not as aggressive as the other guy. The other, exact AP, I mean. Okay, almost exact. He has the better machine gun than the guy. Although they're both promoted MT pilots, so maybe they both have the same kind. I'm just gonna overheat him and back off. I like to think of this thing as a poison rifle. Poison and wrong. I did not do as much as I'd hoped. Now that I think about it, I hope this is enough. Probably shouldn't have purged the blade. I forgot about this guy's defense. As long as I don't overheat, he can't actually get me anymore. Except for with his howitzer. Which he won't use because I'm at relatively far range. And yeah, after a little testing, I was able to confirm that it looks like, as with a lot of the other kind of garbage stuff that goes on with the starter AC, there definitely seems to be a part in the bottom of the booster in which you reach like maybe 4 or 5% and it just dies. Goes straight into charging even when you haven't drained it all the way. That's happened a couple times now. I've been, like, when I was re-watching these for editing and whatnot, well, I say editing, it's more like slap together and upload because bother with editing, but either way, watching the start and end of each one so I can make sure I'm putting them in the right order. But when I was looking at that, there were a bunch of cases where it hadn't actually bottomed out and just died anyway. So I'm assuming that's supposed to be like a rusty old booster that doesn't want to work and ends up doing crappy stuff every now and then. Alright, so this guy's vertical missiles hurt like hell. I'm here. Cut him down almost completely. He bum rushes with that bazooka though. Enough to do some overheat. Although it looks like before, like since he can't fire his overheads, he might just sit there. Like, it happened earlier too. There we go. But okay, I think he might have just completely gone brain dead. He's one of the scarier later opponents for most runs. On normal run, not so much. For any challenge run, he's got a lot of firepower going for him and a lot of defense. Oh wow, this is really pumping with just forgetting to do anything. to remember now if Tommy did a starter AC run or AC1. Mostly because I want to go watch that and see if see how restrictive it is. I haven't played AC1 in a while. Go replay that. Friggin' amazing. Good to know for the future. If they've got vertical missiles and stay within their lock range and they have a short-range weapon, there's a good chance that they will just dot out and do nothing. I could have sworn he still tries to fire to use the extensions. And I'm still kind of thinking the AI is a lot more derpy on emulation, or at least on this run. Alright. If only you would end up having survived till Formula Front came out, buddy. You would basically be one of the most effective ACs there. No, okay, I was thinking whether his extensions exist. But yeah, those do. It's the radiator ones that get removed. Because they want everybody to go and be all freaking overheating all the time. Maybe they ran out of Freon. That's what it was. They ran out of future Freon. I don't think I'll need it, but I'll keep the blade around just in case. This guy actually aims. Third part does actually look like this thing. Partly for nostalgia. Partly for its kind of unique sound. Bye. You should be pretty easy. Ooh, I think Wasteland, just in case I have to get him stuck on something. If he had a blade, that would be a different story. I'm thinking fire one, maybe two missiles, and... gotta have the energy. Take you to the corner of the map. This fight can either end quickly, or we can just handle this fight practically. Actually, one more little thing I forgot to mention on the Massive MT fight. Again, I don't really know how many parts I chopped out of that. I think I just ended up posting that first one, cut out dozens of attempts, and then finally ended up posting the winning one and then the cheese video. Stuff life going forward. Probably just get in close here, see if I can blading them. That did absolutely much damage on. What's going on? Oh, never mind. I do not want to see what's going on in my... Bunch of distant relatives lying to each other for no particular reason. Weird, like, you sometimes see family drama to the point where it makes no sense why anybody would ever bother doing the stuff that they're doing and putting more effort into it as a result. We've got 21 uses of that thing. We're gonna need to get like 4 or 5 of them. Potentially as low as 3 if you're lucky. So, how are you gonna do that? You're wasting all your howitzer shots. Run to a wall? Okay. That's one way. Look, buddy, for being the master of these two, you're really more of a pest than you are an actual threat. Now that I think about it, there's another fight I want to go and remake in FF. Have this guy fighting his supposed student. You know how hard he gets wrecked. Like, granted, the balance is different, so some parts would be changed to accommodate for that. Still, generally speaking, it doesn't matter what generation. This right here, this is utter trash. It's supposed to be a decent ambush build. And if I had to remake it, would probably be either Shoddy or Spread Bazooka on the... Actually, probably even Rockets on the left hand. Because the purpose seems to be more stun and heat than actual damage. And mostly when I'm going to be replacing different weapons, it's going to be for... I'm going to be looking more at what they use them for than what they actually look like or any of that. Like with Kaiser, for example, I would replace it with the Red Bazooka. It's functionally what he uses it for. He's supposed to be like a double shoddy build. Same thing with Trafalgar. Trafalgar would probably have like a alloy shoddy in his left hand or something. This one would have rockets, because that makes more sense. What's Reservoir? What's his back looking like again? We have verticals. Up and down, up and down. You know what? No, parking garage. No, because he still fires forward. Yeah, parking lot, because he's going to be a real problem for blading. He does that awkward hopping up and down crap. As per usual, place you that around. Hope to get him with some of these as he's going between pillars. Forget if he's OPI or not, but anything that isn't hitting a pillar is just getting eaten by his core. I'm gonna waste a few shots until he switches to grenade launcher and we'll freaking run. Ooh, excellent. He almost got himself overheated. That is fine. Oh yeah, he's one of the ones that's definitely harder to see in the dark. Yeah, there's another thing that they ended up taking out, pretty unfortunately in later games. Interactive maps. Like, there weren't too many, but, you know, a few of them had stuff. Especially this one with the power being taken out in the space dome, with how everything changes over the course of the fight. Cool. We got kind of a similar feeling from the big box in FA. I haven't seen anything in Gen 5 that kind of gave a similar one. And I think that's what I liked about FA. It had a lot of the... I didn't like 4 because it felt like a completely new thing, but then FA rolls around, and it seemed like it hit a lot of the same notes as these older games, and it had a lot of the similar parts, had a lot of these little Easter eggs and whatnot. Like, I don't know if a lot of people remember Beautiful Body. He's going around, like, piloting the friggin' next thing the same way as one of these, so he's just hopping up and down and doing all that sort of thing. Doesn't even use his quick boost. Doesn't think he has one. And right as he's about to get blown up, he's like, oh wait, crap, I can actually move that way now. Like, it's funny, it's a dumb joke and everything, but it's weird because they still managed to make it a decent fight in hard mode. But I like that. Not all of it has to be, you know, super hard and serious all the time. That's what I didn't particularly like about 5th Gen. It's too serious. There needs to be at least some, like, stupid crap going on. I mean, it's still a living world. People aren't serious all the time. And they don't just laugh from being crazy and whatever else. It doesn't matter how dire stuff gets, people will find a way to laugh. The kind of stuff you see online and all that. People showing up in multiplayer fights, like friggin' ACs painted and giant bug-eyed ladies. Yeah, that's probably what would actually be happening, not everybody going around in a sea of brown. I'm gonna keep my rifle just to know when he's finally out of ammo. Unfortunate. you're stuck with vertical missiles. That's what's going on. I'll just wait for him to finish with his launcher and his rockets, and nothing else should really be a threat. These floating mines could hurt, but generally speaking, it's not going to do much. And if he's not going to fire his vertical, well, that's on him. No, hang on. Adjust my screen a tiny bit. Can see him better. There's a little bit of light coming through when it was just reflecting off the screen. Be able to outmaneuver him now. There we go. There's your rockets. Both agree on that being a fantastic idea. That slash was more for moving forward because I didn't want to get stuck on the side. Fire yet? In the snow, maybe so. How about no? Ow. That was a quick switch. Waste. Waste. Do the waste. Yeah. But back to the subject earlier of the 3rd gen remake. Like, imagine in the middle of this, like somebody runs out in the middle of the fight, and no. This time Ace got bored. Oh no, because this is still in the dystopian future, so... Yeah, there's a bit in FF where, the top guy has wrecked so many people so friggin' hard that he's thinking about retiring because he's bored. So in the middle of... There's just a news story that in the middle of a fight, a fan came out and just, like, almost got herself killed because, he wanted to tell everybody to do better, but he doesn't retire and they keep getting entertained. And I don't know, I think it's just the way that it's all put together where, like, everything was so friggin' dire and the world almost ended, and now everybody's worried about keeping this guy entertained, you know? Juxtaposition is fantastic. Ooh, don't do that, mate. Ammo-wise. Almost out? Yep. Might have to redo this. Figured at that point it was worth the risk. Man, I'm getting absolute blink damage off these cuts. Thinking yesterday, it'd be kind of interesting if for 6 they went for an almost like old RuneScape-ish system for armor. Like where you can have as much armor as you want, it just basically improves your odds of deflection and improves your odds of avoiding a hit. But there's no like sponging, so to speak. Like all it really does is improve your odds. You can even have a lightweight that potentially could take a grenade round like nothing, and then... But then you also could have a heavy that's instantly killed by a pistol. Like, not really as a main feature, but as a, like, here's like a joke setting for a challenge run kind of thing. Alright, that did something. Oh. What a way to die. Ah. Yeah, I went for the follow-up, hoping to quickly finish him off, and instead bounced off his collision and ate it. Oh, man. Ah, that is a bummer. Maybe want to not instantly blow up each of my missiles, thanks. Literally dense bastard. Dense because of all your severe heavy metals. And probably, I don't know. I think Howies must have been removed just because their whole heating thing. They were kind of the go-to like heat weapon, and especially the heat howitzer. It's absolutely no shock that that was removed, though I kind of wish that the model for that would have been reused for something else, like a heavy handgun or something. It's a cool model. I think they didn't reuse it. That's the only real practical reason I can think of for them removing these. Probably would have been overpowered. And I know I would have permanently used the howitzer, especially the spread one. But yeah, back to the like topic forever ago. Like, if they did a 3rd gen remake, and I've mentioned to the point where I'm pretty sure people are sick of hearing me even mentioning this, but the like if anyone's played XCOM, like the XCOM remake, not really a remake, it's more like a reimagining. But after you beat it the first time, there's just an option called Second Wave. And what it does, it's just a number of different challenge toggles that kind of came out as free DLC later on. So it's stuff like, for example, if you get a flank, and it kind of works off a whole like positioning and flanking system. Like if you get a flank, normally you have, I think it's like about 50%, depending on your equipment, chance to crit. Like say an alien has 6 health and you've got a ballistic rifle, so your damage is going to be like 3 to 5. So potentially you can insta-kill them instead of needing 2 soldiers to shoot them through their cover. So stuff like that, and like there's an option to make that 100% if if it's a flank, or damage roulette, which is like you basically go down 2 and +1 on your damage more or less. So you get to the point where you can run up and point blank like tiny little, they're just called sectoids, but like a little giant-headed monkey in the face with a shotgun, like, oh, it'll do a 1, and then you run up with a pistol, and, oh, it's 5. Granted, that would have to be one hell of an amazing pistol by the end game to do that, but still. And generally speaking, 5 is pretty much end-of-the-game level pistol stuff, but you've got a ballistic one, and you get a crit, and you have your pistols upgraded, then well, then you can actually pull that off with damage roulette. So personally, I love that feature. Kind of makes a lot of the challenge settings irrelevant. So like, you can tweak it around to where, like, if you're playing on Impossible, it is literally impossible. The game revolves around putting out satellites to prevent countries from panicking, and then you're just kind of like going on little squad battles to save particular areas. And the way it's set up, like on normal, to kind of give a basic idea of how all the health and stuff works, on normal your guys have 4 health +1 from their armor. And, okay, that's all actually, no, wait, I think they have, no, they have that on Classic. On normal they have 5 health and then 1 from their armor. And basically that's all armor does, it just adds health, and sometimes it gives you extra skills. So, But yeah, you research different armors and they give you different upgrades throughout the game. But you have that, and then you go on Impossible, and instead they have 3+1, where they have 4, and all the enemies get more health. So like little monkey guys, the sectoids, like the generic gray alien guys, they end up having the exact same health as your soldiers, which, to put that into a general context, when you're running around, you start off with 4 guys. It is going to be a few months in-game time, which is like maybe 5 or 6 battles before you theoretically would be able to afford to upgrade that to more. So you're basically stuck with 4 for a good while. You can get it to 5, like I said, within like 1 or 2 months, maybe, if you're lucky and you get everything set up right and all your panic goes where you want it to go. And you're basically stuck to the point where if you lose 8 countries, you lose a certain amount of countries every month, and I think you can lose the 5 a month if you're horribly unlucky. But you're basically stuck to the point where you have to invest all your stuff into getting these satellites out, and you're still going to end up losing people very constantly, and like even under absolute ideal circumstances, make it with only a few losses. Like recently, I replayed through the portable version using what are basically cheat characters, kind of for the hell of it, and to unlock the rest of the second wave options, you have to beat it on Impossible to get all of them, which is kind of dumb, but whatever. I did it normally on the PC. I'm not really going to go through all of that friggin' resetting the RNG all over again to do it on the portable version. One of my friggin' second wave options. So, okay, so point being, you have to invest all your resources into that, so you have pretty much nothing left for developing other things, for building facilities to help you develop other things, or to do any kind of upgrades. So you're kind of bare bonesing it while already at a severe disadvantage, and even then you can still just kind of get screwed by randomness. So all it really boils down to is not necessarily being more difficult, but just having really good luck, quite frankly, because even if you do everything perfectly, you can still get screwed. Like, some guy has a 95% shot, point blank, and he misses, and suddenly you lose all your best guys in one turn, and then you have nobody to save another country, and that's it. Like, what are you even going to do at that point? You have a bunch of, like, rookies that are just sitting there picking their nose and really... Well, how do I put this? They are trying to pick their nose. They're being very, very earnest in their attempts to pick their nose, but they are currently gouging out their own eye. That's how bad their accuracy is, usually. But anyhow, it's like it's mostly just frustrating more than fun. Like, Classic is what I describe as the legit, like, standard hard mode, because you can't accomplish anything on Impossible. Just an annoying RNG fest. Like I said, I've done it before. I did not have any fun doing it. I was just really bored and stubborn on a business trip, and that's about it. So, okay, so not so well and good, but they made this mod a while ago called Long War. Basically what it did was rebalance the whole game to, well, make it all like the beginning on a reasonable difficulty, which consists of trying to keep a bunch of people alive while it's reasonably difficult, and you're going to end up losing people anyway, but it's a good sort of tension. And it's frankly amazingly fun. So yeah, this mod did so very successfully. It added a bunch of different options. You can specialize people a lot more, pretty much as they get promoted. In all versions of it, you get all kinds of different perks, so they rebalance those to be a lot less obvious. Like, for example, if you have the choice of one that's super conditional, where, okay, you get a certain amount of added chance to crit something if there's a crap ton of enemies around, or you can just shoot twice. Okay, so one of these essentially guarantees extra damage. You have infinite ammo anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. Whereas the other one might give you extra damage if you're lucky. No contest. They rebalanced them, and they actually added in this option for like randomizing the skills, so you could have a sniper that had a bunch of like frontliner abilities and stuff, and it was really cool. It's really fun to mess around with. So anyway, back to my original point a billion years ago. You have like a bunch of these different options. Like in that case, I had like 32, I think, like different major game modifiers. In this case, like you could turn weapon destruction on and off, and part destruction on and off, and like severe heat or moderate heat or something like that. And you just have, I would say moderate would be considered Blast Raven, severe would be Nexus, or you know, low heating, which would be these two. And then you could probably turn on the versus ECM mechanics, make that more of a thing, so that it actually makes more sense to have an upgraded radar. And what else? You probably have the hard mode for like adding in more arena ACs, because it feels like that was supposed to be a feature. Not ACs in the arena, I mean like being able to fight more ACs from the arena in the missions. Probably have some options for damage modifiers and stuff like that. An option for a life system. Like, okay, if there was, like, what I want to see, okay, randomized hidden parts, randomized store availability, and, like, randomized mission fight ACs with a permadeath system. That would be amazing. It's like the 3rd gen AC roguelike. Freaking wet dream right there. Oh yeah, probably have an option for turning blade tracking on and off. You know, the option that nobody would ever turn off because blade tracking is like this kind of blade dancing, way more fun than some of the videos I've seen of LR. Hopefully one of the 1.5 people that watch this won't be all pissed off by that. It's actually kind of amazing when nobody watches these anyway, and I still manage to get a thumbs down every now and then. I did this this run a while ago of breaking a roguelike called The Pit, in which I went and spent about a year amassing experience. You could basically just go and dump tiny amounts of experience into a room. And some guy from their forums had counted up how much it took to get up to level 100 for me. I have no idea how the actual mechanics work, and I couldn't find a thing anywhere that said it. So I went, I got exactly that much, and some, and did a level 100 run of that thing. And by endgame, you're supposed to be like 35 to 40. They have this this thing where you pretty much get additional dodge for every level that you get, and it scales better with certain characters. What I did, I had the tankiest / worst character. I mean, he's a guy that people generally avoid because he has a tendency to starve to death just doing basic things. He's supposed to be the tanky guy. Potentially he can ignore a lot of damage, but he actually can completely lose that ability if he runs into a couple enemies throughout the entire run. His runs can take like a week to finish. Well, that's under normal circumstances where you're going and scavenging, not really skipping anything. It still took me like 2 days skipping everything, but anyway. The point being, people don't like this guy very much. So I went and did this run, and it was to the point where really nothing could hit me, and it was ridiculously fun. Still though, posted a video of it. Immediately, some guy goes and gives it a thumbs down. Man, I just spent a year setting this stupid run up. Like, at least don't give me a thumbs down, you know? And I know I'm not fantastic at that game, but it was fun to break it. Yeah, I dodged wrong. Figures. Figures. Ooh. Oh dear God. Okay, I should not open my phone right now. A lot more dramatic stuff. I do need more coffee. Barking sounds probably coming through the sounds. Maybe I'll actually hurt this guy before fighting him. Yeah, these are the simplest of blading ACs for sure. Probably give him some EOs, maybe replace the heavy one that he uses with the mid-blade. I still don't honestly know why they reduced all of the uses of the parrying blades. Because they suck enough, like, this one sucks enough when it's got 10. Why would you put it down to 4? Sometimes you don't need to rebalance your worst weapon, you know? Maybe I don't need to get into a blade fight with him. Though that being said, I was actually winning until I did a few crappy dodges because I got carried away talking. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of, well, I actually watched all of TBM's randomized runs. Like I mentioned before, the way he's done it definitely perfected the formula. It had done something similar way back when for giggles, but that's definitely more of a you're sitting on a plane for too many hours kind of a situation. Wherein you basically just close your eyes, hold down the button, and see what you land on. And then just kind of left the option for redoing the, or not really redoing, but just left the option open for inside extensions and all that. Let's do this. At the very least, I'll finish you off with this thing if we have a direct fight. AC3 would be nuts with hard damage. Like, I could just imagine Barchetta alone would be responsible for so many blown off heads, arms, and legs. Just change his logo to just a pile of friggin' parts. Right, now this guy... He's a bit of a hardy one. As long as his missiles miss, everything is good, but he's pretty good with them. Alright, come on. In the corner. Fire him. Oh. And fire. This little gap is good for abusing a lot of power ACs. Not as good as the parking lot in a lot of cases, but if you've got anything that fires directly, you can usually use these well enough. It helps to actually do the voiding thing, though. As long as he survives missiles, his grenades, or as grenades arms do. You know, missile thing. Oh, don't even bomb rush me. He bomb rushes alone. It's annoying. Thankfully, he doesn't do that too often. If he did that exclusively, this fight would just be incredibly annoying. Also, he's obviously got a tiny hitbox. Otherwise, he definitely would have hit me already. Oh, alright. And, nope, that's it. Can't actually win anymore. Not except for with the EOs. Which is still possible, mind you. I could just pop both of those out and just get me right now, which is why I haven't tried bleeding yet. As to why he hasn't done that, I can't say. Actually, now that I think about it, the single best thing that the AI can actually do in Formula Front is just individually firing the EOs instead of automatically doing it. Would have been nice to maybe have a combination of keys to manually fire them, like have them switched out to a primary or secondary weapon. So I've got maybe 20 minutes here, if I can finish, you know. It's only 4 left. Vector's not bad, but he's also going to the structure, because I need something to bounce his missiles off of. He reminds me of Mr. Chessmate from Satellite. The same kind of setup here. He's supposed to be doing all this secret damage. No, it's really obvious actually. He's just disguising his pistol shots or his grenade shots with his pistol. And I know his name is not actually Chessmate. Because it reminds me of the Chessmate from the Detective Part of America. Honestly, he's about as ineffective. The Satellite about it. This guy can actually be reasonably fair now. Nope, wrong move. Arms in. That's fine. This is still survivable, in my opinion. That's this AC's biggest weakness, to be honest. Like, everything else is counterable with some dodging and overheating and everything else, but Sun decides to bum rush. I know. I'm stuck. I cannot move. I have fallen and I cannot get up. Good. Time saver. Come on, Proto Chessmate. There we go. With the rock, get out of my way. Nope. He's gonna be one of those. Some will get stuck here, some will not. Really, I just want to be done with this fight for now. It'll be the same thing where I'll get through the entire fight, I'll decide to bum rush me, and yeah. Can't do anything about the bum rush. Left was right, you can't stop the bum rush. Oops. Wrong button. Hi, bud. Check it out. Some free candy over here. If I can actually move too much, it's done. Check out the sweet edge of the map, dude. Cross it. So awesome over there. Yeah, one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Can be countered. Accidentally. What? What? Okay. That kind of looked like he crossed it and then I got knocked over also. Alright. Borderlands are weird. But yeah, no. One of the hardest hitting weapons in the game can just be automatically countered by the stuff you start off with. Do the missile side. Yeah, so last fight, or not like last fight here, but last fight in the structure room there. Honestly, even if I had gone to the right instead of the left and avoided the big missile there, it really wouldn't have done anything, because at the end that bomb rush would have killed me anyway. I had a few thousand more AP, but that'll just burn through just as quickly. This thing takes forever to cool down. So far it seems like at most it can survive maybe 3 overheats. Just because combined with the damage it's going to be over by that point. Respawn. Could have been this guy's name, actually. like tall spot from MLA, the cheese spot. Yeah, I just remembered about having a video on that recently. Kind of amazing that they have this one guy in the arena that times his missiles in such a way that he can actually juggle you straight out of one of the maps. Actually kind of hilarious. This is one of the few times where, like, upon starting it and finding out it was consistent, I just wasn't even frustrated, I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, I know you guys are devious, but what the hell is this? Like, if he catches you in the air at any point, it's just like, hit from the bottom, hit from the bottom, hit from the bottom, and you're at the net. Like, even if you manage, like, odds are you'll just end up dying anyway, because they're really hard-hitting missiles, but even if you don't, you're still out of the map anyway, so foolproof strategy. I probably should have kept the blade, shouldn't I? I'm gonna shoot those things out of the air. Better do with a machine gun though. Okay, buddy. Let's maybe not, huh? I just want to get on to the actual fights. The gimmicky button needs to stop doing that. Thank you. Actually, come to think of it, it's 5 fights, because after no, wait, no. Already here. I'll just start with them in severity. You're the least severe. You're Bum Rusher, kind. Alright. I'm not gonna try to knock him out of the map unless it starts looking dire, but this guy's kind of gonna be a pain to lock onto. His whole strategy is just overwhelming firepower, pretty much. With overwhelming annoyance in a lot of cases. He flies around with infinite energy. Then does a hard landing, presumably for dramatic effect. Then once he runs out, he just bum rushes with his blade. But you know, give him this tendency to fire at random every single. I think about it, we have a kind of similar build going right here. This rifle and blade, mine only happens to be extraordinarily less refined. His AI is kind of funny, so if you have the speed to just run away, he'll keep chasing endlessly. He's one of the ones that'll go down like an absolute chump in the arena with rockets. Because all he knows how to do is bum rush. kind of annoying. But I don't want to spend all day shooting you. Get you out of bounds, shall we? One corner. And you go bye-bye. Now you wanna. We're just gonna go in circles and steady on through yet. Whatever, the spot at least breaks them all. Depends on how. They programmed him not to go out of bounds at the very least. Although, even if they train them to, most hover legs can't help it. Too busy sliding around. Come on. Really now. The point of this was to save time, not spend 85 hours shooting you. I'm hoping for some ridiculous lunges so I can just take them out. For many reasons, I am not a fan of this extra AC. I like that they added him, I like the head. I don't like the fight. All he does is this crap. Not even like attrition from a normal sense, it's more like attrition from boredom. 'Cause eventually, like, you'll just get bored of hopping around in circles, and oh yeah, then he got you with the blade because he fell asleep. Like, under what circumstances is this supposed to be threatening? The ones in LR I actually kind of liked because they provided some unique challenges. Really the quote-unquote DLC fights are, yeah, the ones that show up inside the line, not much different. Get the bunny hat off of them, though. It feels like cheating to just give them infinite of anything. he didn't do such a wide curve, much easier time blading him. And was getting an angle on him as hard, which obviously by design. Even when he charges forward, he immediately goes backwards, so by the time he land there, he would be able to go for a counter. In that case, even if we had gotten a little bit closer, I probably would have missed over his head and he would have got a pretty direct hit on me. Oh, how about that weather? Dusty here. Pretty sure he moves faster too. Knocked on for a cut, but couldn't even get it. There we go. Something. Seems to be one angle of doing it. Let's try the corner again. If you want to just leave. Doesn't look like it, but... Alright. Fine. Missiles. Whatever. Out of time here, so done. Bastards ever. Doesn't have any anti-missiles in his path. Get back to the front corner and just pelt you with these, I guess. And now you decide to charge. Lock on though. That's why my shots are not going where they were supposed to. Actually, another theory on Nexus now that I think about it. Maybe the market just got oversaturated with fakes and silent line. Think about it, there were so many variations on everything. Sure, there was absolutely an opening in the market for people to just go and make all kinds of weird knockoff parts. To the point where they had to just start everything from scratch, I guess. Now, this guy would be more interesting if he used his EO. And having never read nor having any opportunity or particular interest in reading any the comics, which I'm sure are all right. It feels weird to me. But having never read that, I don't really know why he never uses his EO. Seems like it would be pretty darn useful. He could basically continue his same strategy that he was already doing. Doing this. Eventually breaking my lock. I don't want to do that because I assume he's just going to come up and slash me out of the arena. I just want to just finish him off with a cut. I want that fight to be done. Annoying, weirdly circling bastard. Alright. Now, him next. The usual strategy is just to avoid all his shots. Again, in the interest of time, I think it's better to just throw him in trash over here. Plus, I want to see just how many people can actually be outright avoided using this method. Non-pacifist method. Everyone breaks a different way, but one does break here. Seems like as soon as they've got a decent lock, they just start attacking. Come on up. Have a you falling out of bounds party. What are you going fishing? What the hell? Come on. Man, I've got to go any minute now. Come on. Yeah, usual circle dodge strategy with this guy. But I want him to go out of bounds. Come on, man. Radar, come on. Gotcha. That little edge really gets them, because they can't stop and process that they're moving on their own in time. finally Exile. I'll do the bullet method if this doesn't work immediately. Expected to have a little more time for this. I want to at least finish this arena. Because again, the idea was just to win. Never said how. Are you gonna do that too? We will disappear. Yep. Perfectly fine. Aim here, hopefully I want to dodge left. And I'm fighting you. Yeah, this is breaking him the exact same way that it did for, Cypress. Alright, whatever. If this works, fine. Maybe I won't have to knock you out of the arena. You can lose like this, or you can leave and pretend you'd win. There's kind of those two options. This being the case, I'd be kind of worried if he ran out of ammo now, actually. Then he would probably go for the bum rush, and not much I can do then. I know, this is at least a little faster than the other method. Yeah. Other method again was the was kind of sitting in the structure, and then if you circle, kind of like circle off to the right just a little bit, so that you're kind of in his lockbox slightly. Like if he's still stuck behind the pillar, he'll just keep on firing. He'll burn through all his ammo, and then you basically just have to avoid getting close, at which point I'm done. Got out of the thing. Yeah, he's getting a little bit more wild now. Gonna go for a blade pretty soon here. Oh, alright. Loaded himself up there again. If he went for a blade, then I could have just jumped out and that would have been it. Oh well. Almost done. Ah, crap. Just about. So, yeah, no, alright. One more go. A little too wild on my movements. I just need to take one step back and that was it. All I had to do. Got one of your wheelies going. Visible. If you've got enough energy, you can really just circle dodge this guy all day. I mean, even a lightweight can just gank that plank damage. You know, given the way he usually fires, you only have to worry about like 1 in 20 shots. I wish I would just go out of bounds, because it's taking him a while. So I will say right off the bat, I'd be doing a starter AC run of Silent Line. Not nearly as difficult as this one. You know, unless we're doing the whole Perfectionist Clause thing. In which case, well, most of the challenge would just come from redoing the Vargas Airport like a billion times. But honestly, the hardest part of that one, probably the last extra arena fight and the what's it? Secure unexplored region. Not even explore it, or not even attack it. Probably spend like 5 minutes sitting there and running out the timer. Because the longer you wait, the less stuff you have to fight with. And they all just keep spawning in, and then if you end up getting all of them within a certain amount of time, you also get to have some AC fights too. Which is just crazy as far as ammo goes. Like, even with 2 missile pods... Actually, no, it was a missile pod, ammo extensions, a blade, and a 1000 MG. Still was not enough first time around. Ended up with, like, no AP blading the last AC there. Originally, I'd gone in with the sniper rifle on the left hand, but turned out to run out of ammo, so yeah. Never was enough. Let's see. I have EOs also? I think I did. No, I'm thinking of a different time. No, first time around, I did keep the left sniper and I had energy. That's how it... Don't get dislodged, and we're alright. I want to say it's his ammo count that ends up triggering his going a bit ballistic. I feel like that the missiles at least do some pretty respectable damage to him. Now, the way I'd love for this to end is for him to get down to like 3 AP and then... even make manually hitting him a bit of a problem. I'm just gonna have to plink the bottom of his legs there. Going a lot wider than before. Fuck it. I'm moving, you're not doing that again. That's kind of why I'm not moving there. Seems like as long as I stay there, he won't. I'm trying to go in for a blade. Got quite a little bit of me there. Broken this time. Bounce. No more shots. Nope, go away. Look at me, I'm going that way. No, please. Alright. Wait. Meant to try it again. Considering other things, but yeah, I don't damage do anything other than this. Same strategy, this time with more dodging. What I'd hoped, and I did hope this successfully, but it didn't quite work out like I'd hoped. Hoping and not hoping. But what I was going for there is, yeah, so that he wouldn't move. Or rather, so that he wouldn't come down. I figured if I dodged, he would go for a blade, and need to be doing is less hopping when he's close and more when he's far away, because it will just keep on shooting. Visible? And if this is already... I already have to do the choppy... here, and then I'll take some. Little more conservative with these shots too. Boop. Why are you so good? God. Alright, buddy. So, here's the thing. You come here. A little bit stuck, alright? Hop on one of these ramps. I think he just flies too much for this to work. Instead of getting stuck on the ramp, he just flies right over it. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting out some bets. There's the circle dodge I was talking about. You're gonna have to be facing him to dodge it. Personally, I've just found it to be the most AP efficient way to dodge him. I mean, really, you need anything but the starting generator to pull it off. If it wasn't for the energy thing, I'd just run him out of ammo that way and then probably just blink him out like this. I might just be lazy and not cut out those other cards. How lazy do I feel? I basically stepped away, took care of the setup for what I need to be doing. So, just waiting right now, so... the mouse. So if I leave in the middle of this and put it back in. It's actually funny, like, even though this guy's exploitable in a few different ways, and he's even, like, directly fightable, he still manages to be a challenge. Just, I don't know. Now, if he used his EO, I wonder if he would even be beatable. 2000 MG plus his EO, plus a Moonlight, like, that is the ultimate bomb rush right there. And again, other than the Moonlight, that is basically my original build for the Reed. It was a hover, energy EO, small missiles, mentions, 1000 MG. And then it was, I just had the fast blade on the left. Or no, I had the, red alley. And they're getting replaced with sniper rifle and cell. After which point, hover started to stock him midweight. Everything needs to be midweight in LR. This is funny. So it was basically like the I had, yeah, fast EO core. Actually, that got replaced for the mid EO core. To sell. Then the Macla, I forget what the hell they're called in LR, they have some weird, very technical sounding name. I don't even know what to say here. This guy's just moving up and down and not doing much else. Come on, guys. I'm being cheap here, but still. Kind of a random note here. Gen 4, I wish they would have had the Cabracan map as a multiplayer map. I was just replaying that the other day. I was remembering in MOA they have the forest with all the mines on it. You could cheese that so badly, like most of the AI wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. You just get any weapon that has knockback at all. And you just run and hide. Every time they pop out, just hit them with some knockback, they go and they end up playing in the mines. Need more stage houses in AC6. Of course, given who's heading it right now, pretty sure AC6 will be a lot more like FA. Probably be a little bit faster, probably end up... Honestly, I would think the closest of V2 will be Stylo Line. Probably end up a lot more stylized. Good. God. Again, was blocky. Kind of funny because I usually love blocky and awful as an aesthetic. Looks like crap. SAC, for example, I love it, but it still got stuff going on, you know? It isn't like a bunch of ACs that look like a pile. I don't mean a pile of anything in particular, you're just a pile of parts. Like, off the top of my head, the only parts that I could actually name by name are the frequency legs because, well, the guy that, like, I don't remember any of the other ones. Funny because I kind of got called out the other day for, yeah, I haven't played as much 5th gen, which, sure, I have, but I've been playing it for, like, I haven't played it at all, it's just, I'm not a fan of it. Stopped me from trying to find people on the multiplayer, and until I found the Discord, I wasn't sure there was anyone on the multiplayer. I'll never find anyone. What I was hoping to find was something similar to FA, where I could just run into random people and take care of weird gimmick builds and stuff. And there was a lot of mostly just effective gimmicks going on. A lot of the gimmicky stuff doesn't want to work. I tried recreating ACs from this for a while. Fun to do in FA as well, especially because they actually worked. And that's off. Come on, go back to your little thing. Don't get all ammo efficient on the button. If he keeps going here, I'm just gonna end up having to... I'm just circle dodging. Trying to make the most use... You know. Or anyone other than the last boss, more or less, would be a bit more upset. All the bad stuff have to come from this desert. use your extensions. Dance for a minute. I will cheese you. Not a question. No matter how many tries it takes. Maybe this one. How many tries it takes for you to not get dislodged again. So what I assume it to be, and I've seen this a couple times with him, I think for his last 100 rounds he ends up getting all ammo efficient on you. He starts homing in more. Considering it's happened 3 times now, I'd say that's the case. Just because of the randomness of the AI, sometimes I don't think for sure, but pretty confident. Dodger. One of these would hit. End up having to do the rifle bit. Also, Exile versus Ace. There's another one. Ooh, actually, Exile versus friggin' Unknown Phase. I mean, I would say the Exile versus Infinity, but Infinity never should have freaking been created. Because the only reasonable part of his build is gonna be his missiles. Don't you just hate it when you're pressing the fire button and the lock-on cancels it? That lock-on canceler does its thing. No, I'm holding the fire button right now. You weird phallic object blocking me. Alright, same old, same old.